Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I am late yet again. And this funny thing happened. I was going to set up the video. I always set it up ahead of time, and I got interrupted. I left the room. I came back, and it actually started. Like, even though I hadn't even pressed any buttons, it was just kind of starting, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" So I shut it down and I deleted it, and I'm sorry if you saw that. I just, sometimes computers, they do things that are totally unexpected, and you just have to figure it out as you go along. The landscape is constantly changing. I was talking to a team member yesterday, and she said, I feel like a dinosaur. And I said, we all do. Like, I feel like a dinosaur, but I almost feel more like a lab rat with some programs. Things are always changing, so don't feel like, if you feel like you're not on top of things, welcome to everyone else's life too. I think there's very few people that are comfortable with this constantly changing landscape, but it's good for our brains, I guess, to keep us on our toes. But gosh, sometimes I just wish things would just like not change all the time. Like, I don't mind change, but it's like, it seems like every week there's something new I need to learn. So today that was a nice little surprise for me that I had to figure out. But I'm so glad that some of you found me, even though I am late today. And today, if you don't know what today is Casing Tuesday, and that's when we take a card out of one of the current catalogs and we give it a makeover. And since we're in celebration right now, we thought our group decided to do a month of celebration cards out of the celebration catalog. And celebration is a great time at Stampin' Up. We're having 2 celebrations this year, and this one is lasting from August to September. And so when you spend, for every $50 or $100 you spend, you get to choose a product out of this catalog for free. Today I'm focusing on the Penguin Playmates Designer Series paper, because I'm using the Penguin Place bundle, and so it's a really nice complement to the bundle to get the paper. And after September 30th, you won't be able to get the paper anymore. So if you are getting the Penguin Place bundle, and I just add a few more things to your order, or a small item to your order, depending on how your brain works, and get it up to around $50 or $50 or over, and then you can choose the Penguin Playmates Designer Series paper for free. So that is kind of a cool thing. All right, enough about celebration, and let's talk about today's card. Let me pull that up. Here's today's card, and this card looks really, really plain, and not that it's a bad card, it's just that I thought we could really do a lot to jazz up this layout a little bit. I like the layout, but let's make it a little bit more jazzy. So this card looks plain, but it's got a lot of potential. And here is the layout in case you want to have some measurements to try and follow. I kind of fudged the measurements a little bit. I deleted the back dark gray layer, and I made all those little strips all the same size, just to make it a little easier for myself. So you can make some little creative edits to the sketch and make it your own sort of card. So I just want to make sure all my cameras are on. Okay, good. I'm going to switch over to my other camera and I'll show you my card. All right, here is my card. I just love it. It's so cute. There, in this paper set, there's a lot of background papers with a lot of busy patterns like this with animals, and that's great because you can definitely use the paper to create wonderful cards if you just want to add a greeting to it, or in my case I kind of kept mine like really plain, like my focal point is just a little bit plain, but the back side of the paper has very neutral patterns, so you can use this paper well past into the new year, because the neutral patterns are so awesome on the back side of this paper. So use the cute animals if you want, but if you don't like the cute animals and you want to keep things simpler, use the back side of the paper. Here, I'll just show you as an example. So this paper right here, this pattern I used today, it's this pattern. But on the back side, you've got a very neutral paper with fresh freesia. So all of the papers are like that. They've got like really kind of busy patterns. Like here's an example of another one. We've got all of these animals on one side, and you can cut those out too and put them on cards. And here is an example of the background papers. So you've got a lot of choices with this paper. You can use the fun side, or you can use the plainer side. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside for a moment. All right, so let's talk about the Penguin Place bundle. It comes with a stamp set and a punch. And remember, when you buy things together as a bundle with Stampin' Up, you can save 10%. And here is the celebration catalog. And there's lots of cool choices. You got sparkly paper, and here we go. Here's the Penguin Place paper right there. So you can choose this one free with your $50 purchase. And here are some more samples, cute little samples with this particular bundle. Okay, let's make the card. And probably the most important part of the card, or kind of this layer right here. How am I going to do that? So I did slightly different measurements. I chose to use a 3.5 by 3.5 inch piece, so a 3.5 inch square. And then I'm just going to bring in my cutter, and I'm going to cut each I'm going to cut these into 7/8 inch strips. So I'm going to use my ruler here on this side. I love that there's a ruler on both sides, and I'm just going to scoot that up to the 7/8 inch mark. So actually it just falls right along this ruler right here. So that kind of makes it easy. And then I'll just cut into little 7/8 inch strips. It makes it easy. I don't have to figure out any other measurements. Just 7/8, 7/8. All right, and I kind of kept them in order here so that I don't get them mixed up. And one of the colors in the paper is called Just Jade. So I'm going to use a Just Jade card base. So this piece measures 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches and scored in half at the 5.5 inch mark. And I'm going to use my glue here. And I'm going to add just a little bit of Tombow to this first strip. I'm going to place this about 1/2 inch from the top and about 1/8 inch from the side. Okay, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to add this side next. So I'm keeping these in order, but I'm going to do the 2 outsides, and then I'm going to add the inside. So the trick here will be to have the same height on both sides and about the same in. So you can eyeball it and just kind of see, take your paper, another sheet of the paper, and just kind of see, okay, those look lined up. Okay, so then just make sure you've got these in the correct order. And I'm just going to lay out those 2 inner strips so I know how much space I'm leaving. There's a little less space on the inner strips versus the outside right here. So I just want to kind of keep in mind how far I want them apart. And just add this right about there. And then I'm going to come in and add this one here. So remember the original card, how it was very neutral, kind of very monotone? That's not my card. My card has a lot of colors, so you can really dress this up. You could also make this your focal point, like stamp an image on 3.5 by 3.5, color it, and then cut it into strips as well. So you've got options on how to do things. All right, so now let's create this little penguin. We're gonna need some black and white cardstock and the penguin builder punch. And first we're gonna do the back of the penguin in basic black. So this one right here, basic black. And then we'll do this one right here in basic white. All right, so for this little guy, this is his little face. So we're gonna take some ink and we need to add eyes. So there's a stamp in the bundle that looks like this. Those are the little eyes. And you just kind of aim it into those top little bumps. Aim your eyes there. Sometimes it helps to lay it out already onto your little black shape because it gives you a better idea of what it's supposed to look like. And then we're going to bring in our pumpkin pie ink pad and the feet and the beak. So grab the beak, and this time I'm bringing the beak down a little bit further onto the face. Last time I did it, I did it coming right down from that little indent. And then the little feet, this time I'm going to stamp them coming up instead of going down. Oh, he's so cute. So, so cute. All right. So then I used the layering circles dies. This is what they look like. I used the 4th largest scallop circle. Everyone should have circles in their crafting arsenal. Circles is just one of those basic shapes that is really hard to cut a beautiful, lovely, smooth circle. So it's always nice to have a set of circles. And it's nice to have like matching scallops with smooth circles. So this is the 4th largest circle. And I used my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine to cut it out earlier. And let's start by putting the penguin together. Just adhere the 2 layers together. This is called the Penguin Builder Punch. And it's true, it builds a little penguin. And he's so cute. Look at him. He's adorable. And then just add some tombow to the back. And we're going to stick him or her right onto that circle that I cut. And I use basic white as the background for this little guy because white draws the eye in, and we've got a lot of busy colors right here. And so I wanted something that would draw the eye right to this little guy. So I'm going to adhere him right, I'm using these 3 strips right here kind of as my guide for centering. So about halfway up onto these strips and then right in the center of those. I thought that was a pleasing placement. Whenever you have a shape, just do a quick check and place it, and then before adhering it, just so you can kind of get an idea of where you want it. All right. So there's the little guy. And then I also wanted to add a little happy birthday greeting, but I didn't want it to compete with everything that was going on here. So you can see my little birthday greeting is really small. So I'll just take Just Jade. And this is going to be tone on tone. There's a little happy birthday stamp in the stamp set, so you don't need another stamp set. It is right there. Perfect, cute little happy birthday. And I'm just going to nest that right next to that circle. Okay? All right. And so now for the front, I'm just going to add one more thing. I'm going to add this little bow. And here are my mini glue dots. I'll just add the bow with a mini glue dot. Which side looks nicer? I think it's this one. And just put that right on the dot. Lift it off. And then I'll just add this right to the side. This is some new black and white gingham ribbon that is in the holiday catalog. And it is like, I think, my favorite ribbon in the catalog. I love gingham ribbon, and black and white goes with almost everything. So that's really cute, but you know what? I wanted to do something on the inside because the outside the card was fairly simple. So for the inside, I just stamped the little guy and added a balloon. I'm going to show you how I did that. So this is just a piece of basic white cardstock, and it measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. And I'll take the penguin stamp this time. You could also punch this out, but for the inside I'm going to stamp him. And let me just follow along my little design right here. So I want this, his arm is going to have to be about 1/2 inch in from the side, because you enough room here to get this balloon up here so it's not floating off the page. So I'm going to add that little guy. And oh no, the eyes are already there. I'm going to get my pumpkin pie. Okay. The penguin looks kind of funny without its beak, so I'm going to add this little beak. So cute. I'm basically creating that same penguin with a stamp that I created for the outside. If you wanted to, with a punch shape, you could pop this little guy up on dimensionals. So you have different options when you're punching something out versus stamping it flat. But I thought just to change things up, we'd make a stamped penguin. Then choose a gray. I'm going to use gray granite because I just want a light looking string. So there's this stamp right here, and it's the string for the balloon. Just going to lightly ink this up. Don't smush it too hard because it's a tiny spindly little stamp. And I'm going to have this going straight up from the arm. I'm overlapping just a little bit onto his arm so it really looks like the penguin is holding the balloon. And then I will take Just Jade ink, and since I already used that color for the outside, it's already out. Just one little tip with this balloon, make sure you don't smush too hard, because the first time I stamped with it I smushed really hard and I got some ink into the little light spots of the balloon, and that didn't look good. So Just Jade will dry in just a little bit, and it will look a little lighter and smoother, like this one. When you first stamp some colors, sometimes they take like a little minute to simmer down. So isn't that cute? I love the little the little guy with the balloon on the inside, because there's no balloons on the outside. There's just the happy birthday greeting. So having the little guy holding a balloon on the inside is just kind of brings it all together. And there's still enough room to write a birthday greeting. And I'll just bring this down in here, and I'm just going to center this right here on the inside. cute. So, so cute. And there's the card. So, get these all out of the way. Not enough room. Okay. So that's what it looks like. Such a cute little card, right? And it wasn't hard to make at all because we had some really pretty paper. Remember, if you don't like the busyness of this paper, almost all of these papers can be flipped over and used on their own. If I had done that with this card, it would have had a more neutral tone. Depending on what color the paper was, I probably would have chosen a similar color. Like I had fresh freesia on the back of this paper, so I probably would have chosen a fresh freesia card base. But this is nice because this card I think would work for both male and female because green is kind of a neutral color. So you can make a bunch of these cards and have them on hand and then just, you know, use them however you need them. So there is the card for today. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. If you're not already part of our Casing Tuesday Facebook group, there's a link down below to join. And when you join, you can post your cards or you can lurk and see what everyone else posts each week. The cards, they're all based on that same original card. So everyone this week is going to be working on this card, right? With the strips coming down. And so it's really nice that we're all working on the same card and you can see the possibilities of using that same layout in many different ways. It's always fun to see your cards. So I hope you will come and post, or at the very least look, and you can also leave comments for people. Everyone appreciates a comment. So all right, let me talk about a few things. So if you're looking for any of the supplies I talked about today, there's a link over to my blog in the description of this video. Just click on over and check it out. And if you purchase from me, I have what is called a host code, and you can use that. If you use that host code, you can get a free tutorial with a purchase of $15 or more. You get my free host code gift of the month if you spend over $50 and use the host code. Plus, you're going to get the celebration item from Stampin Up. So it's a really good time to spend at least $50 with Stampin Up. All right. I'm going to go talk to you. I'm going to see who's here. I know I'm sad because I wasn't right on here at 10 o'clock this morning. So I know I lost a few of you. Sorry about that. I hope you can catch the replay. Good morning, Holly and Mary and Ellie. Wendy says she can't wait to get the penguin. I think the penguin is one of the cutest things in the catalog. It's the first thing that caught my eye. I always want, I love the cute things, the cute little animals. Good morning, Dee. Dee says the white part of the penguin looks like it could be used for a lady's swimsuit. Yes, I know. I've seen people do some interesting things with that piece. I think someone did a flower with it. So there's yeah, I think it was a flower with that one. So there's a lot of interesting things. Punch art is a really cool thing to do. I don't do a lot of punch art myself, but you can see those shapes and think about what else you could use them for. Great idea. Good morning, Janine. You're not late. I'm late. Yeah, Dee, talking about the white part, drawing the eye in. So there's a couple of things that I learned when I started making cards, and one of them was about focal points and how you want to have one main focal point in your card. If you have too many focal points in your card, your eye doesn't know where to look, and it's not pleasing to the eye. So in your card, you always want to try and find what your focal point is, and then build the other card elements around it, or kind of like a supporting actor. You have your main actor, and then all the other elements are the supporting acting roles. And so like your embellishments are supporting actors. And so you want to always try and identify that focal point. I remember making a card once, and the overachiever in me created 5 different focal points on the card. And when I did that, I was looking at the card and I knew it wasn't right. I knew there was something wrong about the card, but I looked at each element and I thought to myself, each element is so pretty and wonderful. Why do I not like my card, right? So find your focal point and draw your attention to it. So there's a few easy things that you can do to make sure your focal point is the focal point. And one of them is making it the lightest element, or putting it on a white background, because white will draw the eye in. The other thing is it can be the largest element. Now on my card, it's not the largest element, because the largest element would be that background paper. But the way I draw the eye in a little bit is by creating a white area for the eye to draw in. So it's hard to see on this card, but because where the light is shining in. But the background of my paper is actually not white. It is soft sea foam. So it's not the lightest element. So when you look at this card in person, that white circle is really what draws your eye in. And then you notice that that bow is supporting this element, and the greeting is also kind of nested around this element. So I'm saying this circle is what I want you to look at, and everything else is background noise. If you really wanted to focus just on the penguin, then I would have flipped this paper around and used the neutral side. But I thought I could get away with it here because the penguin was also larger than all the other animals there. So just something to think about when you're building your card. Like sometimes we have all these beautiful elements on the card and we're like, I don't know why I don't like my card. It's so beautiful. All the things, all the pieces are beautiful, but you need to have like that cohesiveness. Anyway, that's just a little food for thought. The black and white gingham ribbon's awesome. It will go with almost anything. You're right, Dee. Yeah, and Dee also mentioned about the balloon. Just be really careful with those photopolymer stamps. Sometimes I will test them out on a scrap piece of paper first to see how they stamp, and then ink them up again and stamp them on my cardstock, just because you don't always know how they're going to stamp, especially the little tiny pieces. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I'm so glad that you liked this card today. I hope you'll join us over on our Casing Tuesday group. The link is down below. And I have a great week. On Friday, I will be coming to you with either a 3D or a fanciful card. And I do my live over on my YouTube channel, and it will be at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see you then. Take care and have a great week until then. Bye-bye.